Welcome to Sarah Wood's Tale. Where stories comes alive, please do well to hit that subscription button and turn on your notification bell for subsequent stories. The sun blazed gently over the small town of Marilla, nestled in the green hills of an African countryside. The air smelled of dust, mango trees, and fresh hopes. People gathered in the town square, buzzing with excitement. The richest man in Africa, Ethan Blake, was visiting their town for the first time. Ethan stepped out of a sleek black SUV, dressed in a crisp navy suit. He looked powerful, calm, and untouchable. Cameras clicked as he walked through the crowd, flashing small polite smiles. He was there to launch a new education and health initiative for rural kids, funded by his billion-dollar foundation. A stage had been set with bright banners, "Hope for the Future, the Blake Foundation." The mayor welcomed Ethan with handshakes and applause. As Ethan took the mic, his deep voice filled the air. "Thank you all for this warm welcome. I grew up in Africa, and I've never forgotten my roots. This project is about giving young people a real chance to build their futures. Education saved my life and I want it to do the same for others." The crowd clapped loudly. Some people cheered. But Ethan barely noticed. Someone had caught his eye. Near the back of the crowd, standing beside a small fruit cart, was a young girl. She had curly hair tied in a rough bun, skin sun-kissed from long days outside, and wide, curious eyes. She was wearing a plain white blouse, faded jeans, and a small silver necklace. It wasn't just any necklace. It was the necklace. A rare silver pendant with a small sapphire in the middle, designed by a local artisan, one of a kind. He had given it to Isabelle, the only woman he ever truly loved, 20 years ago. His heart skipped a beat. No. It can't be. That necklace was lost, or buried with her. Ethan blinked, trying to focus. His hands tightened around the mic. But the past came rushing into the laughter, the love, the way Isabelle used to wear that necklace like a part of her soul. Why is that girl wearing Isabelle's necklace? He ended the speech quickly and stepped off the stage. His assistant, Nora, came to his side. "Sir, everything all right?" she asked, noticing the look on his face. "That girl," Ethan said quietly, nodding in the direction of the fruit stand. "Find out who she is. Don't let her know we're watching. Just, find out." Nora glanced toward the girl and nodded. "Understood." The crowd cheered as Ethan waved and smiled, but inside, he felt shaken. A ghost from his past had just appeared in the form of a poor girl in a dusty marketplace, wearing the very necklace he once gave in love. That evening, the streets of Marilla returned to normal. Stalls were packed up, the crowd had gone home, and only the soft sounds of music and laughter from nearby homes filled the air. But Lily Carter still stood by her fruit stall, counting the little money she had made. She rubbed her tired eyes and looked up at the fading sky. "Aunt Grace will need her medicine tonight," she whispered. Lily was just 19, but she had grown up fast. Her parents had died when she was a baby, and her mother's sister, Grace, had raised her in a small mud house on the edge of town. Grace was kind, but her health had been failing for years. Now Lily was the one taking care of her. She glanced down at her necklace. The small silver pendant hung just above her heart. It was the only thing she had from her mother. "She said it was special," Lily whispered, touching it softly. "Said I should never sell it, no matter how bad things get." She had no idea where the necklace came from or what it meant. She only knew her mother had cried while handing it to her before she passed away. "Keep it close, Lily," her mother had said. "One day, it will lead you to the truth." But for now, the truth didn't matter. What mattered was money for food and medicine. Not far from the stall, Nora watched from inside a parked car. She had followed Lily all day, taking photos, watching her routine, asking quiet questions around the market. When Ethan called later that night, she answered immediately. "Sir, her name is Lily Carter," Nora said. "Lives with her aunt in the town's edge. Parents are both deceased. No siblings. She's poor but hardworking. Locals say she's been selling fruits since she was a child." "Carter," Ethan said slowly. "That was Isabel's last name. Isabelle Carter. Are you sure?" "Yes, sir. But the girl goes by Lily." No mention of Isabelle anywhere. Ethan's heart pounded. Could she be Isabelle's daughter? Any sign of the necklace? Did you get a closer look? Yes. It's the same one, sir. I'd recognize that design anywhere. And it's real. Ethan sat in silence. His penthouse suite was luxurious, but tonight it felt cold. The shadows of his past were crawling out again. Keep watching her, Nora. Quietly. I don't want to scare her. Understood. But, Ethan, what are you thinking? He sighed. I'm thinking that the past I buried 20 years ago might be standing in front of me, selling oranges in a market. Back in the small house at the edge of town, Lily sat beside her aunt's bed. Grace's breathing was weak, her chest rising slowly under a thin blanket. Lily wiped her aunt's forehead with a wet cloth and whispered, I made some money today. Not much. But I'll get your medicine in the morning. Grace opened her eyes slowly. You're too good to me, child. You're all I have, Lily smiled, even though her eyes were tired. Grace's eyes flickered toward the necklace. Still wearing it? Always. Grace's voice became softer, almost like wind. Your mother said it belonged to a man. Someone rich. Someone who loved her once. She said, if the time was right, he would find you. Lily sat up straight. What? Aunt Grace, what do you mean? But Grace had closed her eyes again. Her energy was fading fast. Rest now, Lily whispered. You can tell me tomorrow. But she couldn't shake her aunt's words. Someone who loved her once. A man. Someone rich. Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't sleep. He stood by the window, looking out over the hills. He was a man who had everything, cars, jets, money, power. But he had lost the one woman who ever truly mattered. Isabelle had vanished without warning. No calls. No letters. Just, gone. He had searched for years. Hired detectives. Asked questions. No answers. Until now. Until Lily. Isabelle, did you have a daughter? He whispered into the night. And if you did, why didn't you tell me? He looked again at the photo Nora had sent, a blurry image of Lily beside her fruit stall, her head turned slightly, sunlight catching her necklace. And something inside him cracked. He had to know the truth. No matter what it cost. That night, Ethan Blake sat alone in his room, holding an old, worn photograph. It was crumpled at the edges from years of being hidden in his wallet. The photo showed a younger Ethan, smiling, free, and deeply in love with a beautiful woman beside him. Isabelle Carter. She had long brown hair, soft eyes that sparkled when she laughed, and a voice that could calm any storm. Ethan stared at the photo like it could speak to him. He could still hear her voice. Promise me, Ethan. If anything happens, you won't look for me. Don't talk like that, Isabelle. Nothing will happen. We'll be together. Forever. But forever never came. One morning, she was just gone. No note. No goodbye. Only the necklace he had given her left on the windowsill of their shared apartment. A beautiful silver pendant with a single sapphire stone, handcrafted and rare. He had designed it himself, just for her. To remind you of me, he had said, putting it around her neck. So you never forget. And now, nearly 20 years later, a poor girl named Lily Carter was wearing that same necklace in a dusty town market. Ethan rubbed his forehead. He had buried these memories for so long, but now they were flooding back. He called Nora on his phone. She answered quickly. Sir, I need everything you can find on Isabelle Carter. Go back 20 years if you have to. Birth records, hospital visits, school records, anything. And dig into Lily's past too. There has to be a connection. I've already started, sir. But, it's going to take time. Isabelle's trail went cold years ago. Then warm it up. I don't care what it costs. Do you believe Lily is her daughter? Ethan paused. I don't know. But if she is, then she's mine too. Nora was silent on the other end. She knew Ethan had never spoken of Isabelle to anyone. Not even his closest friends. I'll update you as soon as I have something, she said quietly. As Ethan ended the call, he whispered to himself. Why did you leave, Isabelle? And why didn't you tell me about her, if she's mine? He closed his eyes and let the memories take over. Isabelle's laughter, their late-night talks, the promises they made under African stars. His heart ached in a way it hadn't for years. The next morning, Lily pushed her fruit cart into place at the corner of the market. She yawned, rubbing her sore back. The nights were long, the days longer. She arranged the oranges neatly, then wiped sweat from her brow. It was barely 8 a.m. and already the sun was strong. Just then, she noticed something strange. A black car, sleek and shiny, parked at the far end of the market. No one in Marilla drove cars like that. It was out of place. She watched as a tall man in a white shirt stepped out. Ethan Blake. People around her gasped. That's the billionaire, one woman whispered. What's he doing here? Lily narrowed her eyes as he walked straight toward her stall. Her heart beat faster. She didn't trust rich men. They usually brought trouble. Ethan stopped in front of her table. Good morning, he said politely. Are you Lily Carter? She hesitated. Yes, she replied slowly. Who's asking? My name is Ethan Blake. I saw you yesterday during the charity event. I was impressed by your strength. You don't know me, she said, folding her arms. Ethan smiled gently. That's true. But I want to. I came to offer help. Lily raised an eyebrow. Help? Why would a billionaire care about a fruit seller? I run a foundation that offers scholarships to young women, he explained. Education, healthcare, housing. And I heard about your aunt's illness. Lily stiffened. Who told you about my aunt? Ethan looked into her eyes, choosing his words carefully. Let's just say, I make it my business to help people who deserve more. Lily stepped back, suspicious. You don't even know me. Why would you care? Ethan glanced at the necklace around her neck. Sometimes, you see something that reminds you of someone very special. And you want to make things right. Lily noticed his eyes settle on her pendant. What about my necklace? She asked. It's beautiful, he said simply. Very rare. She touched it protectively. It was my mother's. It's not for sale. I didn't ask to buy it, he said quickly. I'm just saying, it carries history. Please don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Lily looked away. Everything does. There was silence for a moment. Lily, Ethan said softly. I'm not here to hurt you. I'd like to pay for your aunt's medical treatment. And if you're willing, I can help you go to school. A full scholarship. No tricks. Her eyes filled with confusion. Why me? Because I believe you have something special, he replied. Not just the necklace. You. Your courage, your heart. Lily shook her head. I've heard words like that before. From people who used me, then left. I'm not them. No. You're worse, she snapped. Because you think money can fix everything. Ethan looked surprised, but he respected her honesty. Maybe not everything, he said. But it can fix some things. Like medicine. Like your future. Lily was quiet. She looked at her cart, her old shoes, and the money she barely made each day. Then at the man standing before her, powerful, rich, offering everything she ever dreamed of. But something didn't sit right. Why don't you just tell me what you want? She asked sharply. Because no one offers this much without a reason. Ethan exhaled. I want answers, Lily. About your mother. About the necklace. I think. I may have known her. That stunned her. What did you say? Her name was Isabelle Carter. She disappeared years ago. I cared about her deeply. Lily stared at him like he had just spoken a secret only she knew. My mother's name was Isabelle, she whispered. But she died when I was a baby. I don't remember her. Ethan took a small step closer. Then we need to talk. But Lily's eyes suddenly filled with fear. No. I don't know who you are, but you need to stay away. My life is already hard enough. She picked up a fruit from the table and slammed it into the basket. I don't want your money. I don't want your help. Just go. Ethan stood still for a moment, then nodded. All right. I won't force anything. But I'm not giving up, Lily. I don't think we met by accident. He turned and walked away, leaving Lily breathing heavily, her hands trembling. She looked down at her necklace. "Who are you, Mom?" she whispered. "And who is he?" That night, Lily sat by her aunt's bedside again. Grace opened her eyes and saw the worry on Lily's face. "What is it, child?" Lily hesitated. "A rich man came today. Ethan Blake. He said he knew my mother. He knew her name. He offered to help." Grace closed her eyes slowly. "So, he's come. What do you mean?" Lily leaned in. "Your mother, she loved him once. A long time ago. Before everything went wrong. He said she disappeared. She had no choice," Grace whispered. "She was protecting you." Lily's breath caught. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because the truth was too painful. And because he never came back. Until now." Lily sat back, shocked. Ethan wasn't just a stranger. He was part of a past her mother had buried. And maybe, the key to who she really was. Please don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. The next morning, Lily sat quietly in the small living room of their old house, a faded wooden box open in front of her. It was her mother's box. She hadn't opened it in years. Inside were a few letters, dried flowers, and one old photograph. She picked it up carefully. The edges were torn, and the colors were faded, but the faces were clear. A young woman, her mother, smiling gently with a hand resting on her stomach. Next to her stood a man, half-cropped from the photo. His face wasn't clear. But at the bottom of the photo, in handwriting she didn't recognize, it read, "Angela Carter, 2005. Lily frowned. Angela? Her mother's name was Isabelle, wasn't it? She stared at the woman's face, soft eyes, long hair, the same necklace she wore now. There was no doubt. That was her mother. Lily's hands trembled. She ran to her aunt's room and sat by her bedside. "Aunt Grace," she whispered, "I found a picture of Mom. It says her name was Angela, not Isabelle. What's going on?" Grace opened her eyes slowly. She had been growing weaker by the day. "Angela was her real name," she said softly. "She changed it to Isabelle when she left him." "Left who?" "Ethan," Grace replied. "The man who came to see you." Lily's heart skipped. So he was telling the truth. He really knew her. Grace nodded slowly. They were in love. Deeply. But her family, our family, they didn't approve. We were poor, and he was from a rich family in the city. Your mother ran away with him. But soon, things turned dangerous. Lily's eyes widened. Dangerous how? She got pregnant with you. But someone from Ethan's side didn't want the baby. Threats were made. So she left, to protect you. Changed her name. Hid in this village. Tears welled in Lily's eyes. She did all that, for me? Yes, Grace whispered. And she never stopped loving him. Even when she was sick. Lily looked back at the photo. She knew she had to show it to Ethan. At the hotel, Ethan was pacing in his room when a knock came at the door. He opened it and saw Lily standing there, holding something in her hand. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. He nodded and stepped aside. She came in and slowly held out the photograph. "Is this her?" she asked. Ethan took the photo with shaking hands. The moment his eyes landed on the woman's face, his knees almost gave way. "Isabelle," he whispered. Then paused. "Angela." He looked at Lily, his eyes full of shock and pain. "This is her. This was the day she told me she was pregnant. That's my shirt in the photo." He sat down heavily. Lily sat across from him, her voice trembling. "Why did she change her name?" "To protect you," Ethan said, his voice tight. "My father didn't want her to have the baby. He threatened her. I didn't know until it was too late." Tears filled Ethan's eyes. He held the photo to his chest. "I looked for her for years. Then I was told she had left the country. I never stopped wondering. Never stopped hurting." Lily stayed quiet, her eyes studying his face. Ethan turned to her. "Lily, she loved you so much. She must have sacrificed everything." "She did," Lily whispered. "She worked until she got sick. Aunt Grace said she had cancer. She died 2 years ago." Ethan closed his eyes, pain washing over him. 2 years, and I didn't even know. He looked at Lily again, more tenderly now. You're her daughter. My daughter, maybe. Lily froze. You think I'm yours? Ethan nodded slowly. I want to find out for sure. If you'll let me. Later that evening, they sat in the garden behind the hotel. It was quiet, the stars just beginning to appear in the sky. Lily hugged her knees to her chest. Ethan sat across from her, holding a cup of tea he hadn't touched. It's strange, Lily said softly. You were just a name to me. Now you say you loved my mother. That you might be my father. Ethan nodded. I understand how hard this must be. Why now? She asked, looking directly at him. Why show up after all these years? When she's gone? Ethan took a deep breath. Because I didn't know. If I had known, I would have come for you both. I thought she left because she stopped loving me. He looked down, voice cracking. But she didn't. She was running from the people I trusted. From my own family. And I didn't protect her. She suffered a lot, Lily said quietly. She always looked sad when she thought I wasn't watching. Ethan's eyes filled again. I have a lot to make up for. To her, and to you. Lily stood up and paced slowly. I don't know how to feel. Part of me wants to believe you. Another part of me is scared. That's fair, Ethan said. I don't expect you to accept me right away. But I want to be here. In your life. If you'll let me. How do I know you're not just doing this because you feel guilty? She asked. Maybe I am, Ethan admitted. But also because when I saw you wearing that necklace, I felt something I haven't felt in 20 years. I saw her. I saw Isabelle in you. And I saw strength. Lily bit her lip. I don't need your money. I know. But maybe you need the truth. And, maybe a father. She looked at him, eyes glossy. I don't know if I can forgive you. Not yet. I'll wait, he said. For as long as it takes. Lily looked up at the stars. She used to tell me stories about the stars. Said one of them was for the man she once loved. Ethan smiled sadly. I always told her she was my brightest star. A long silence passed. Then Lily spoke again. If we do a DNA test, and it proves you're my father, what happens next? Then I make sure you never suffer again, Ethan said. But even if it says I'm not, I will still be here. Because I see your mother in you. And that's enough. Lily sat down beside him, quieter now. Okay, she whispered. We can do the test. Ethan smiled, his heart swelling. Thank you, Lily. But don't expect hugs and smiles right away, she added firmly. Ethan chuckled. Deal. They sat there under the stars, two broken hearts slowly beginning to heal. Neither knew what the future held, but for the first time in a long time, they weren't alone. Nora sat at the desk in her hotel room, staring at the documents and files spread out in front of her. She had spent the last few days digging through old archives, emails, and talking to people who once worked with the Blake family. She finally had the missing pieces. She picked up her phone and dialed Ethan. Ethan. It's Nora. I think I've found the truth, she said, her voice serious. Tell me, Ethan replied quickly. I need to know everything. It wasn't your father who threatened Isabelle. It was your half-brother, Daniel. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Daniel? Why? He hated Isabelle, Nora continued. He said she was after your money. But that's not the full story. Isabelle discovered some shady things he was doing, money laundering through one of your father's businesses. She was going to tell you. That's when he warned her to leave. Ethan's voice dropped. And she was pregnant when she left. Yes, Nora said. She told one of her old friends she was scared for her life. That friend later helped her travel under a different name, Angela Carter. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, holding his head in his hands. I lost everything, because of him. Nora's voice softened. You didn't know, Ethan. She thought she was protecting you and the baby. She didn't want you to be caught between her and your family. But I should have protected her, he whispered. She was alone, pregnant, scared. And I was too blind to see it. Tears filled his eyes. I missed her last years. I missed watching my daughter grow up. Nora paused. But Lily is here now. You have a second chance. Don't waste it. Ethan nodded slowly. Thank you, Nora. For everything. After the call, Ethan sat quietly, staring out the window at the town below. He thought about Isabelle, how full of life she was, how brave. He thought about Lily, so strong, so much like her mother. And now, he thought about Daniel. If Daniel knew the truth was out, he wouldn't stay silent. Daniel Blake was furious. He sat in his luxury hotel room in the city, slamming his phone on the table. How did Ethan find her? He growled. His assistant stayed silent. And how did that girl get the necklace? I thought Isabelle was gone for good. Daniel paced back and forth. He knew if the truth came out about the threats, the stolen money, the lies, he could lose everything. He made a call. Follow the girl. Make sure she keeps quiet. I don't care how. Back in the village, Lily was walking home from the market when a man stepped in front of her. You're Lily Carter, right? He asked. Who's asking? She said carefully. I have a message for you. Leave town. Forget Ethan Blake. If you know what's good for you. Excuse me? Lily replied, her heart pounding. He's not who you think he is. You and your sick aunt will regret it if you stay. The man disappeared into the crowd before she could react. Shaken, Lily ran to the hotel and went straight to Ethan's room. He opened the door and immediately saw the fear in her eyes. Lily, what happened? A man followed me. He said we should leave town. That we'd regret it. Ethan's jaw clenched. Daniel, he muttered. He pulled out his phone and called Nora. Nora, get me every detail on Daniel's movements. Now. He's making threats. Understood, she said. Ethan turned back to Lily. I'm so sorry. I never wanted you to get hurt. I'm not scared, Lily said. I've been through worse. But if someone hurts my aunt. Ethan placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. No one will. I promise you that. Later that night, Ethan held a press conference. The community had gathered at the charity site, a new school project he was launching. But Ethan had something else to say. He stepped up to the microphone. Thank you for coming. I want to tell you something personal. The crowd grew quiet. Years ago, I fell in love with a woman named Isabelle, known to some here as Angela Carter. We were young, but we planned a life together. She became pregnant, and I didn't know. Whispers spread through the crowd. My family, my brother, Daniel, wanted her gone. He threatened her. She ran, to protect our child. That child is Lily Carter. All eyes turned to Lily, who stood at the side, heart racing. She is strong, smart, and brave, just like her mother. And I am proud to say, she is my daughter. Lily gasped quietly. Ethan had never confirmed it publicly until now. As for my brother Daniel, Ethan continued, he stole from my family's business, and tried to hide the truth by silencing those around him. Not anymore. At that moment, Nora stepped forward with police officers. Daniel Blake has been arrested for fraud, blackmail, and obstruction of justice, she announced. Gasps and applause filled the air. Lily watched it all, stunned. Daniel had tried to destroy her mother, and now Ethan had taken a stand. After the conference, Ethan walked over to Lily. I meant every word, he said. I'm proud of you. And I'll protect you, always. Lily looked up at him. You really think I'm your daughter? We'll get the test soon. But deep in my heart, I already know. Lily smiled softly, then surprised him by hugging him tightly. Thank you, Dad. Ethan closed his eyes and hugged her back, tears silently falling. He had lost so much. But in that moment, he felt something he hadn't in years. He felt whole again. Please don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe, it really means a lot to us. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to get more interesting stories like this.